quantitative genetics. First, you have known what is variation or defined variation. Organism belonging to same natural population or same natural species shows a difference in characteristics is called variation. The variation further divided into two types: continuous variation and discontinuous variation. Continuous variation is otherwise called as quantitative inheritance, and then discontinuous variation is called as qualitative inheritance. First of all, you have known the first type of variation is continuous variation or quantitative inheritance. This type of variation described into the few points. First point, characteristics exhibit a complete gradation. Gradation means what? Strategies or stages. For example, human colors from white to black, white, light black, dark black. So this is called as gradation. So characteristics exhibit a complete gradation. First point, and then second one, from one extreme to other without any break. Like gradations means 1 to 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 is gradation. So without any break, from one extreme to other extreme, without any break. For example, human colors from white to black. And then the third one, continuous variation relates to futures which are determined by polygeny. So these continuous variation or quantitative inheritance is determined by polygeny. Polygeny means what? Is nothing but many genes. For example, the gradations, human eye colors, human hair colors, human skin colors, human height, and human shape of head is the gradation. And then these characters is determined by polygeny or many-gene. And then these are variation are greatly influenced by the environment. So the continuous variations is influenced by environmental factors. And then next one, quantitative genetics deals heredity of traits in group of individual. Quantitative genetics, this type of heredity is the group of individual, and then it deals with the phenotype that vary continuously. Quantitative genetics deal phenotype characters only. Then in nature, variation in most phenotypic characters is continuously. So these are continuous variation or quantitative inheritance visible into the phenotypic appearance. And then next one, it is studied with statistical techniques. Quantitative variation or continuous variation or quantitative inheritance studied with statistical techniques. Statistical techniques means what? Like average, mean, median, coefficient. These type of techniques from the statistical level we have studied the phenotypic characters, and then it may be the result of sequestrations of interacting alleles at several loci with the cumulative effect on phenotype. So, next you have understand what is allele. Animals or plant body. a single characters synthesizing genes present to various form called allele. These various form is otherwise known as allelomorph. So allele, it may be the result of sequestrations of interacting alleles, single characters described into the single gene. These single gene present throughout the body, like plant and animals, in various form. These called as allele. These various form is known as allelomorph. So at several loci, so the same gene synthesizing the same particular characters present into the throughout the body, but various form and loci, several loci with cumulative, all of them together as a single unit. Cumulative effect on phenotype. So it is expressed into the phenotype like morphological characters. Then the last one, environmental interaction with genotype contribute to phenotypic variation. The genotypic characters and interaction with the environmental factors like air and so on, etc. The environmental factors interaction with the genotype, organismal genotype contribute to phenotypic variation. Then last one, heritability is a population trait, not an individual one. Heritability is a population traits. Heritability means parampariyam. Heritability is a population traits, not an individual. Second type of variation. Before that, I already told you what is variation, how many type of variation is occurs. Two types. First one continuous, second one discontinuous type of variation. Continuous variation is otherwise called as quantitative inheritance, and discontinuous variation is otherwise called as qualitative inheritance. Now I am going to bear a discontinuous variation from continuous variation. The first point, discontinuous variation is the limited form of variation. Example, style length in primula. Style means what? Is nothing but one of the floral characters. You have already known 11th standard. And then second one, planned height of garden. Style length short, style length in primula, one is small, long. And then second one, planned height of garden B, tall, dwarf. Okay, then second characters of discontinuous variation compared to continuous variation, genetically determined and without any intermediate form and no overlapping between two phenotype, having gradation. Gradation means what? Overlapping is occurs, but discontinuous variation, gradation is not occurs. So genetically determined and without any intermediate form and no overlapping between two phenotype. Overlapping means what? I already told you, white, light black, dark black. This is called as a gradation. That type of gradations not occurs in discontinuous variation, occurs in continuous variation. Okay. Then third one, expression is unaffected by environmental conditions. Continuous variation influenced by environmental condition, but discontinuous variation expression is unaffected by the environmental conditions. Okay, then discontinuous variation relates to a features which is clear cut. First one is either clear cut, either you have in or not. Clear cut, either you have in or not. Then for example, rolling of a tongue And then second one air lobe shape, and third one thumb hyper extension, hyper extension. So discontinuous variation relates to a features which is clear cut, either you have in or not. For example, rolling of tongue, ear lobe shape, thumb hyper extension. Then next one, these are determined by the alleles of a single gene. I already told you what about alleles. Alleles is nothing but throughout the body, both plant and animals, throughout the entire body, a single character synthesizing genes present into the various form. That type of form is called as allelomorph. Okay, so these are determined, discontinuous variations are determined by the alleles of a single gene. Then no measurements are needed to distinguish between them. Discontinuous variation, no measurement but needed, but continuous variation, statistical measurements are needed. I already told you average, mean, median, coefficient. Okay, student, thank you.